Hey, what's going on, Free Thinker Virgin Gang? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Hey, just want to say thank you real quick. November, this is the last video I'm posting up for the month of November. November's been an absolute successful month for me. I've been posting a lot of content up. People have been giving it their time, their comments, their overall opinions about things. And I cannot thank y'all enough for just popping in and just hanging out in here, listening to what I have to say, listening to these yap sessions. It truly does mean a lot. I'm going to try to keep this rolling forward in December. I want to keep doing this for you guys. It really is nice and easy to do, making content when you guys just pop up here every day, just to listen to what your boy Opossum has to say. I really do appreciate it. I'm very thankful for that. And no matter what it is, no matter how you feel about my channel, I really do appreciate you giving me a little bit of your time. We're going to be rolling into Terastal Festival one more time. It's not going to be that crazy. Yes, I know we've been talking about it a lot. This one's a little different. This is an opinion I saw kind of floating around. I kind of want to squash it before it goes anywhere crazy and before people think this is actually a real thing people think. So, Terastal Festival, the big news that was being talked about was going to be the pull rates for the boxes. Japanese YouTube channel. Previous video, had them linked in the description below if you want to check that out. Talking about pull rates, you can find the video. Basically, the pull rates were revealed by them, and a regular box opening was revealed as such. You had one guaranteed SAR type, thing in the top. You had 3 reverse hollows. It did not appear that AR cards were actually in the set. You had 3 reverse hollows, one of which being a Master Ball, 2 of which being regular Pokeballs. They had a cracked ice-like pattern to them, and they appeared to be textured. That was going to be the 3 things you get in a box. Looked pretty cool. It was very nice opening to see that. Once again, if you check out the video, they actually moved around a little bit. You can see the texturing for it. You had a bunch of regular EX or terrestrial EX pulls. It was the same type stuff. An A spec was included in the box. So you had a bunch of regular stuff in the actual box as well. That was what it looked like, with the prospect of SR trainers being announced in there too, where it could be like an extra pull. There is 5 gold cards. If you go check out the Pokemon Center website and look at the actual Prismatic Evolutions product description, it does tell you what's actually been announced for the set, and it does list in there 5 gold cards. So it does appear 5 are in there. Maybe we'll get some news about that a little later on. Like we said, we're about 5-ish, 6-ish days away from the set coming out. And who knows what they're going to do with that. The gold cards usually aren't the showstopper, but never say never. V-Star Universe definitely proved us wrong with that before, and those ones were absolute fucking bangers. There's no denying that whatsoever. So, with those reverse hollows taking over for the actual AR spots, for what it appears to be, once again, it's a very safe bet that there is no ARs in the set. We have an unaccounted for EV AR that's going to be in the Prismatic Evolutions ETB. We don't really know where that's going to go. It's not really super uncommon for Japan to do promos and stuff like that, though. Maybe like a stamped one or something like that. We really don't know to this point, but it could be in a product that's going to have like some of the Terastal Festival stuff in it. We will see when that time comes, but for the time being, we can safely say there's probably not ARs per the set contents, per the set numbers, the amount of SARs, and the overall focus based on this box opening for 3 in a box being on the reverse hollows, right? I saw a lot of people saying they were disappointed that there wasn't ARs in the set, and hey, I kind of share that sentiment too. I genuinely like the AR cards a good little bit. Like this binder right here, this is the card party binder. This is slammed full with AR cards. There is not a single space left where an AR card cannot fit, and I'm working on filling up this binder full of them too with the actual new ones right here. I love the AR cards a whole lot. I think they had a lot of personality. I think they're great in the Scarlet and Violet era, and the actual art that's shown on them just fucking rules on most cards. Even like some of the lesser known and some of the underdog Pokemon getting some crazy arts for the set. Really, it's such a feel-good thing when you're actually opening sets. You pull one, even if you don't get like a super great, big top secret rare, sometimes getting some really fucking cool ARs, it just helps the set a lot. It really does. With the focus being on reverse hollows, I saw a lot of people, several people made content about this, one of which being Twice Bakey Jakey, where he actually expressed greatly that he was very bummed that there was not going to be any ARs in the set. I really don't believe that sentiment a whole lot. I really think he played his hand very openly when he was talking about full art trainers, but that's just me. I'm not here to go into that. We'll talk about all that stuff again, I'm sure, at another point when something else happens. He's welcomed his opinion about the whole thing. He didn't really say anything like that dumb or stupid or anything. It was mostly the fact that like people are kind of playing up this set's really disappointing. A lot of comments were basically just saying like, oh, this set's now bulk now. It's not even going to be a good set at this point. You're going to get like one SAR maybe one SR, and the rest of the contents of it's just going to be bulk trash. The set's basically ruined. Let's wait till English. Let's do this stuff. There was a ton of comments just severely underplaying how good this set really is. And I just want to talk about that for a second. Now, I am disappointed there's not going to be ARs, at least as far as we know at this point. We'll see what the gold cards do. We'll see how the actual box openings go. I'll probably be opening a couple boxes myself here for the channel. We'll see. But I just want to ask you guys a question real quick, okay? Like, genuinely, honestly. So, think real hard about this. Do you really think a lot of these people aren't going to buy booster boxes of this purely because there's not AR cards in the set? Really, truly. Do you think Twice Baked Jake and people like that aren't buying these boxes because of that? Like, really think real hard. Put your thinking caps on and sit there. I'll give you a little bit of time. Dump, dump, da dump, 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 bump, ba 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 ba. Do you think? Did you get a good answer in your head? Did you actually formulate something up there? What do you think? You think they're not going to buy this set? Absolutely fucking not. They're not going to buy this set. They're 100% still going to get boxed of this. I think this is really just a deterrence for people that are still on the fence, that are kind of waiting to see if they can get product. Look, if you genuinely feel like ARs not being in the set has absolutely ruined it for you, by all means, you're allowed to have that opinion. I just don't think that opinion for a lot of people is going to stick. Mostly because of like the feelings of Crystal Hats, how people felt about that, the Scarlet and Violet era eventually winning people over, how people feel about a lot of stuff. I mean, you got to think really hard about it. I know it gets brought up every fucking video almost. People did not like the terrestrial gimmick on Pokemon cards. They did not like it. And only recently has that sentiment changed. Like this year, starting with Greninja, moving over to Pikachu, slowly going to backtrack to Charizard. It's going to happen. And now the Evolutions being basically just deemed some of the best cards that have come out in Scarlet Violet. No one's even held them in their hand yet, okay? So what is happening here, in my personal opinion, what's coming out with like Terastal Festival, is yes, the AR cards not being here is kind of a bum and all that stuff too. I feel like when people start getting their hands on some of these Master Balls and some of these Pokeball reverses and really see how cool some of them might be or something like that, especially if people start pulling some crazy Master Balls. You know the Master Balls I'm talking about. The popular Pokemon. Oh, yes, baby. We got to get ourselves some Evolution Master Balls, baby. We're going to be doing that stuff. And the thumbnails are going to be like, guys, we're going Moonbryon 2.0 hunting. Can we get the Sunspeon? Are we going to be able to get fucking Sylveon with the bling, baby? Are we going to be able to do... Oh, man, can we get the Master Ball Evolutions? Can we get... Whoa, what's going on? You already see the thumbnails. You already know what's going to happen. Absolutely not. None of these guys are not going to buy this fucking set because there's no ARs in it. Dude, in English, I don't even think anybody's going to care they're not here, especially with the ETB having that nice, cool Eevee as an AR promo in the box. Dude, no one's going to care. No one in English is going to give two fucks, especially if they bring that Master Ball gimmick over to the English side of the house. You think people's minds are very easily bought when it comes to the Pokemon space. And the second a lot of these cards get a big value tag attached to them, the second like some of these start moving and some of these get manipulated on TCG Player and people fucking start buying, no one's gonna care. Not one of these motherfuckers. Like, there's definitely gonna be people who collect for the ARs and all that stuff that are gonna be a little bit bummed. But even myself, it's not gonna stop me from opening any boxes. I'm gonna have a good old time. The SARs look great. I'm sure the gold cards are gonna be cool. We'll see. I like gold cards usually for the most part. We'll see. I'm not going to speak 100%. Could be better, could be worse. There's a lot of potential for them to be pretty cool. I love full art trainers, so the addition of the SR trainers, that's a fucking win for me all day. I do like the actual reverses for stuff. I don't really think like they're the big creme la crop that some people think they do. But there has been some really solid reverse holos in high class sets all the way back to Best of XY. Coming up to like V-Star Universe. I mean, like the reverse holos for some sets really do look fantastic, and some of them look absolutely just disgustingly good compared to like stuff that you get in like English or stuff. It really is just some crazy differences you can get with that, and they look great. So I'm not gonna just count this stuff out just yet. I do like AR cards. I have an open mind for that stuff. I'm willing to like see what this set looks like. And ultimately, I fucking like opening Pokemon cards. I really do. It's not going to be something that stops me or how I feel with the whole thing. But I'm telling you right now, anybody with a YouTube page or a whatnot account or any kind of like place where they sell Pokemon cards, they're not going to not get this set purely because AR cards aren't in this. In fact, people aren't even going to talk about it once the set comes out. Like, they're just going to be like, oh, What fucking reverse hollows are we going to get? Oh, you're never going to hear a peep about it again, especially if they're not in there, especially if people are fucking Umbreon hunting, especially if people are evolution hunting or looking for some crazy gold cards or looking for any other chase. You're not even going to hear about it. The actual chase and the value will ultimately buy out any opinion people have here, and only a few people really have an opinion about Pokemon cards they truly stand by. You know who they are, you know what they sound like, you know their favorite channels to go to, where they are, and you already have their opinions locked in. A lot of the people that do this shit for finance, money, investing, all that stuff, I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm not saying they do things that are like really truly bad, but their opinions are very easily bought because of the reason they are here. They're here financially. And the second finances move or shift to another place, they will inevitably follow that trend because that's where their actual product goal is going to be. And that's how it's going to be for Terastal Festival, Prismatic Evolutions, the Team Rocket set, fucking the black and white sets that are coming out here soon. And ultimately, the money's going to speak their opinion for them. They're going to have their objections. It really does seem like the positive people in this actual community, they're the first people to hate on something that changes. They're the first people to like just be like, oh, this is absolutely garbo marbo. But then the second someone else has like an opinion about something that's not super positive, they'll be the first to be like, oh, look at this negative ass page right here. You know, it's one of those things that I have noticed where people can be negative as long as they are an overall positive page. But it's neither here nor there. People are going to buy this set. If you don't think people are going to buy this set, you're either kind of dumb or you're new here. If you're new here, I completely understand. People say one thing, they do another. That's very common in this space, and it's something that you'll get used to the more time you spend here. But ain't nobody not getting Terastal Festival because there isn't ARs in the set. No one's mind is going to be heavily changed, and if anything, people are just going to have their ear to the ground for what the newest hype card's going to be, and ultimately there's going to be a ton of people that see this as a win because of the now chase for Master Balls and super exclusive versions of basic cards that are in the set, and it just kind of opens up their pool a little bit more for cards for them to push, for them to sell, for them to put bounties on, for them to do whatever, right? It's basically just another thing that they can do that ARs was kind of taking up space for anyway, because in Japan, the pull rates for them are pretty good. They weren't making people a lot of money anyway. That's more of an English thing that's getting pumped and pushed and all that stuff. You can look at the Magikarp differences in Japanese and English just to be sure. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about the entire thing. Let me know how you feel about that sucker. Do you really think this is going to hurt the set? You really think people aren't going to buy the set because of this? If you do, you can explain in the comments below. I truly don't, but I'm more than willing to listen to anybody and what someone has to say about that. Spill your mind here. You're always welcome to. Once again, appreciate this year. Appreciate everything that happened. And like this month has been crazy, okay? Stay safe. Have fun with your holidays. Hope everyone gets back to work on time Monday just fine. And I'll see you bros later. Later, Virgin Gang. Have a good one. Not buying this set because ARs aren't in it. Yeah, that's true. It's just like they're not going to buy this set because there's no Charizard in it, too, I bet. Huh? Yeah, that certainly stopped them before. Yeah, that's high-class sets with no Charizard. Well, count me out, brother. Oh, there's Evolutions there? Oh, why didn't you say so, big dog? Why didn't you tell me there was Evolutions in that set? Well, wallet go.